I keep coming back to the idea that Jason finally coming home in July isn't just a plot point. It is a tectonic shift that will rattle the very foundation of every secret held behind the closed doors of the penthouse. We have watched Anna suffer, we have felt the weight of her isolation, and if you ask me, it is absolutely criminal how much she has endured while being locked away in that psychological hell. When I think about her standing there, surrounded by the remnants of her own trauma, I cannot help but feel a chill. It is cold in Port Charles these days, and I am not just talking about the weather. There is a palpable tension in the air, a sense that something or someone is stalking the edges of our favorite characters' lives, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Guys, you have to realize that the return of Jason in July is not just a reunion, it is an intervention of the highest order. I am convinced that the writers are setting us up for a collision that will define the rest of the year. Imagine the scene. Anna is cornered, her nerves frayed, her instincts dulled by the sheer exhaustion of survival, and just when the walls start to close in, the air shifts. You feel it before you see him, that silence that precedes a storm. Jason steps out of the gloom, not with words, but with that cold, terrifying precision we have missed for so long. For those of us who have been with this show through every heartbreak, this is the kind of payoff that makes the waiting worth it. I feel like we are finally getting the protector we deserve back on our screens. The way I see it, he is not just saving her from a physical threat, he is pulling her back from the ledge of her own despair. It is deeply personal, and frankly, it is the kind of narrative magic that only this show can pull off. If you ask me, the dynamics of this town are shifting in ways we have not seen in years. We have Rocco out there on the run with Britt, fighting for his life against the relentless shadow of a killer. And then we have the chaos engulfing Anna. And I just keep asking myself, who is actually in control here? I think there is a grand design we are only just beginning to perceive. Maybe I am overthinking this, but does it not feel like everyone is being played like a pawn in a much larger, more sinister game? I look at how Anna has been operating, leaving those crude weapons for the others to find. And I see a woman who is trying to reclaim her agency even while she is being hunted. There is a desperate, raw beauty in her struggle that I find absolutely fascinating. It is like she is trying to build a fortress out of broken glass. I feel for her, I really do, and I think we all share that deep protective instinct for her as viewers. Let us talk about the intensity of the air in the boardroom and the docks. I keep seeing flashes of Jason in my mind, that stoic, unreadable mask that hides 1,000 years of pain and loyalty. When he returns in July, it will be to a Port Charles that is fundamentally broken. Sonny is fighting for his empire, the foundation of which is cracking under the weight of his own choices, and Jason is going to walk right into the middle of that war. But this time, his focus is divided. He has a mission. And that mission is Anna. I suspect that their paths crossing is not a coincidence. I think there is an architect behind this, someone who knows exactly what buttons to push to bring the most dangerous man in town into the line of fire. It is chilling to consider, but I think the stakes are much higher than just a simple kidnapping or a setup. We are looking at a fundamental restructuring of power in this city. I can vividly picture the confrontation. It is late at night, the fog is rolling in off the water, and Anna is backed into a corner, her eyes darting toward the exits. She is alone, or so she thinks. Then, the sound of a single footfall, heavy and deliberate. You see her posture change. It is not fear anymore, it is recognition. I believe that in that moment, the entire trajectory of her recovery will change. Jason will not offer comfort in the traditional sense. He will offer a solution. He will be the blunt instrument she needs to cut through the noise. If you ask me, this is the most compelling dynamic we have had in seasons. They are two sides of the same coin, survivors who have been forged in the fire of their own secrets. They do not need to speak to understand the gravity of the threat. It is a silent, lethal understanding that I know we are all dying to see play out. I have been losing sleep trying to piece together the identity of the person orchestrating this Could it be a ghost from the past? Someone we thought was buried under the weight of their own history? I keep coming back to the idea that the threat is coming from within the inner circle. We know how this works. The ones who hurt us the most are the ones who know our weaknesses better than we know them ourselves. I think the reason Anna was targeted is because she saw something she wasn't supposed to, something that threatens the very core of the power structure. She is a liability, and in Port Charles, liabilities are dealt with in the most efficient ways possible. But they made a mistake. They didn't count on the shadow returning. They didn't count on Jason. Sometimes I think we forget how volatile these people are. We see them in their fancy clothes, walking through the metro court, living these lives that seem so polished, but underneath it all, they are all just one bad day away from losing it all. I see the flicker of panic in Sunny's eyes. I see the way Carly holds herself when she thinks no one is looking, and I am reminded that this is not a game. It is a war of attrition. Anna, in her current state, is the most vulnerable she has ever been, and that makes her the most dangerous target. When she finally breaks free, it won't be with a smile. It will be with a cold, calculated vengeance that I think will shock even the most seasoned of us. I think she is going to be a force of nature, and having Jason by her side will only catalyze that transformation. There is a part of me that is terrified of what happens when they finally confront the enemy. Are we prepared for the fallout? If Jason goes to war to protect her, he is going to make enemies of people who have been his allies for years. We are talking about fracturing loyalties, about shifting alliances that will leave us all wondering who we can actually trust. I think about the history between these characters, the decades of shared pain and secrets, and I realize that this isn't just about saving a life. It is about saving the soul of the city. I keep coming back to the idea that there is a deep, hidden truth about to come out that will change everything we thought we knew about the past. It is like a puzzle where all the pieces are finally starting to fit, and I don't know if I am ready for the picture they reveal. I honestly cannot get over the visual of Jason stepping out of the darkness. It is so classic, so perfectly aligned with everything we love about this show. July cannot come fast enough. I feel like we are all holding our breath, waiting for that first moment when the screen lights up and we see that familiar, stoic face. We are all so invested in this, aren't we? It is not just a show to us. It is a part of our lives. We have lived through every trial, every loss, every triumph, and now we are standing at the edge of this new, terrifying chapter. I am already bracing myself for the emotional whiplash because I know that once this starts, there is no turning back. The stakes are set, the players are moving into position, and I think we are about to witness the most intense drama of the year. Let us talk about the psychological toll this takes on the viewers. I feel it. You feel it. We all feel it. Every time a character we love is put through the ringer, we feel that same pressure in our own chests. It is a testament to the writing, but it is also a testament to our own dedication. We are the ones who keep the flame alive, who obsess over the details, who scour every frame for clues. And right now, the clues are pointing toward a collision that will leave nothing standing. I think the key to understanding the threat is to look at who benefits the most from Anna's silence. It is not just about silencing her. It is about controlling the narrative of the entire city. And if Jason is involved, you know the answer is going to be buried deep in the blood-soaked history of this town. Maybe I am just being dramatic, but I suspect that this whole situation is a setup for a massive reveal. What if the threat to Anna is linked to the original sins of our favorite families? What if we are looking at a reckoning that has been brewing since the very beginning? I keep thinking about the way the past always haunts the present in Port Charles. Nothing ever really stays buried. It just waits, growing in the dark until it has the strength to claw its way back to the surface. And I think that is exactly what is happening now. The past is coming for us, and it is going to be ugly. It is going to be raw. And it is going to be the kind of thing that makes us question everything we have ever stood for. I find myself constantly wondering if Jason even knows what he is walking into. He has been gone, he has been detached, and now he is stepping back into a hornet's nest. Does he even remember how to navigate the web of lies that defines this place? I think he does, but I think he has changed. I think the version of Jason returning in July is going to be harder, colder, and more focused than we have ever seen him. He is not the man who is just following orders anymore. He is a man on a mission, and I think he is willing to burn the whole thing down to keep his promise to protect Anna. That is the kind of intensity that keeps us glued to our screens, and I, for one, am ready for it. But what about the others? What happens when Sonny realizes that his most loyal soldier is prioritizing someone else? I think that is going to be a major source of friction. The jealousy, the suspicion, the feeling of betrayal, it is all there, waiting to explode. I can see it happening. A tense standoff in the office, the air thick with unspoken grievances, the silence only broken by the sound of their shared history crumbling. It is the kind of drama that I think is going to define the latter half of this year. We are not just talking about physical danger. We are talking about the emotional death of friendships that have survived decades. It is gut-wrenching, but it is also so incredibly compelling. I am still thinking about those knives Anna left behind. It was such a small, desperate detail, yet it tells us everything we need to know about where her head is at. She is a woman who has been pushed to the edge, a woman who has had to turn into a weapon just to survive her own mind. And now she is going to be forced to wield that weapon against an enemy she doesn't even fully understand yet. It is heartbreaking. I really, truly believe that her journey is the heart of this entire arc. We have to be there for her, even if it is just through our screens. We have to witness it, because if we look away, we miss the point of the whole struggle. I honestly don't know how it is going to end. And the thing is, I don't think I want to know yet. I want to savor the anticipation, to feel the slow, steady build of the tension. Every day is a step closer to July, and every day the air feels a little heavier, a little more charged with possibility. If you ask me, we are in the golden age of this show's storytelling, and I am so grateful to be here, experiencing it with all of you. But I have to ask, do you think they will make it out of this alive? Or are we heading toward a tragedy that will change Port Charles forever? I need to know what you guys think, because I am starting to feel like I am the only one who sees the writing on the wall. What is your take on the coming storm, and who do you think is really pulling the strings behind the scenes?
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.